Alrighty, hello, good morning. We're going to start a new series, little playlist here. We're going to be looking at freeCodeCamp, the advanced algorithm scripting challenges, and we're going to walk through these. There's not as many as some of the other ones, so it should be a little bit shorter, but the challenges are a little bit harder. Today we're going to start off with, it's called Validate US Telephone Numbers. Um, so this is going to be regular expressions. That's how I solved this one. I'm pretty sure that's how this was made to be solved. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go over what we need to know in order to go through this. All right. So let's go in here. So here is the actual challenge: validate US telephone numbers. And I'm just actually going to copy these numbers that we want while I'm here. All right. We also need to take a look at regular expressions. So I'm going to go in here and show you prototype test. Now, a test method, all right, is a method that we can do using a regular expression, okay? Executes a search for a match between a regular expression and the specified string, returns true or false. And as you can see in the challenge, we're given a bunch of numbers, and we want to return true and false based on all of these entries. And we're looking for very specific numbers for true, and only these specific numbers and styles for true, which leads us to say, well, I think we need regular expressions for this. So the test method is going to be pretty important for us. So what do we have to do? Well, apparently we need to make a regular expression object, which means you have to set that to a certain variable. So such as var string here, hello world. Then we have a result. All right, here, and here's a regular expression. All right, looking for something that begins with hello. All right, and that would be the beginning of a string or a carriage return, something like that, and the letters HELLO. And then we're going to test it against this string here, and the result returns true. Okay, and you can kind of take a look at this documentation and see how you can have a simple if-else statement to see if a string contains a substring. All right, and so you can kind of take a look at this. There's not as much documentation here. It's just a true-false test based on regular expressions, which is all we really need. So regular expressions, here we go. Regexer right here.com. This is what I've used before. So this is what I'm going to use now. What I want to do is I'm going to start by pasting the numbers that we want, getting rid of everything in here. All right, and we're going to take a look at our flags, and we might have a multi-line, so I want to make sure I get that. Although I'm not sure, since I'm doing the beginning, I don't think we need to pass anything with a multi-line here. No, but we can do multi-line, and we'll just use the multi-line so that way we can actually highlight all these numbers that we want to test that are true. Let's take a look at the structure of our code real quick. We have something that returns true. Well, we don't want everything to return true. What we need to do, so if we follow the model here, okay, the string we're being passed, what we need to do is have a result, and that result is going to equal our regular expression test. All right, and then we want to return that result because we don't need the console log, just because of the structure of freeCodeCamp. So if we build it this way, we're going to have a var result. It doesn't have to say result. I mean, you could change this to regular expression if you want, but why not just use what they have there? So equals, and then we're going to have a regular expression. Okay, and the regular expression we're going to work out over here, and it looks like we have a slash, and a G, and an M. This is for global. That way it contains a search for everything, and M is just multi-line objects. And since we can't really copy and paste that, we know that we're going to have something, GM, and we're going to put our regular expression in here. And then what we need to do is we need to just return this result. It's really going to help us. But what we want to do is return that result. All right. And we need to return this true or false. All right. So this would just be test.str. test here. Right. If we wanted to get rid of this var result here, we could just put the regular expression right in behind this if you want to make that a single line. All right, so but your single line is going to be pretty long. And I don't really know if that's going to help you later on. Because again, the point is that we can come back later on when we might need to use this stuff again. You're going to forget if you haven't used it in a while. So it's very good to keep everything here as clear as possible for yourself, okay? Which is what we want to do. All right, and again, we have a reference here that talks about things like escaped characters, tabs, null, carriage returns, and you can kind of see all of these basic things that are in here that we can use, and there is a lot. All right, character classes. All right, and there's all kinds of stuff. The cheat sheet, I like that a lot. When you start working, you need a cheat sheet. Look, you have things like or. We're going to need these or. All right, that's going to be helping us out a lot as well. So let's take a look at this and see what we're going to have. There is. So here you go. You have these, and you could say matches 1. Here's this A plus 0 or more, 1 or more, or 0 or 1. This is something else we're going to need right in here. So A asterisk means either match 0 or more. All right. We have A plus, meaning matching 1 or more, or a question mark, meaning 0 or 1. So the question mark is going to be coming after, all right, a capture group saying only capture 0 or 1 of these values, which is what we want. So how do we go about this? Well, we need to tell this that we might need a 1 and then a space. Okay, we might need a 1 and a space, and we need to look for either 0 or 1 of just a 1 and a space. All right. So how do we say that? So let's begin a regular expression. All right, and we need to start at the beginning here, and so there you go. Beginning matches the beginning of the string or the beginning of a line in a multi-string if the multi-string flag is enabled. All right, so it just means start at the beginning. Don't search for something in the center. All right, so we're always going to start directly in the beginning. All right, the next thing that we're going to have, right, is our capture group 1. This is something that we're going to be looking for. Now, our first capture group is going to contain, all right, a 1 and then a space, right? So here we go. We need to look for these. So you're going to have a 1 and a space. Oh, wait, but we might not have that space there. But if we do have a 1, we might or might not have the space. All right, so we're going to have to be using a few of these little question marks here. So let's take a look at this example where we have a just a 1. Okay, and there is a 1 right there. All right, just the number 1. And now what is a space? All right, white space, white space, white space. Okay, and so that's what we want. The capital means not, sorry, highlight the wrong one. This is any character, new line, digit, or white space. So this is what we want. Capital means not. So here we go, /s. So 1 backslash s. Oh, look, there's 1 and a backslash s. I'm going to add in another case here for, well, no, I won't. I'm just going to go with this for now because I'm not want to add anything extra. But we also have to take care of this because just this white space character, there might not be a space there. So that will match 1 or 0 of these. So if I take this and I say 1, 555, 111, doesn't really matter what that is. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you can see right now we have this 1 with no white space matching and this 1 with the white space matching. All right, so that's working out pretty good. So those are our 2 scenarios for that number 1. All right. So will it work if I have this? Oh, nope, that number 1 now is no longer selected. All right, so that means we've now isolated the 2 options that we have here. What's next? Well, we might not have that 1. All right, so that 1 is not necessary. So we can just say, well, only match 0 or 1 of those. All right, and now it doesn't see anything because it's saying that it's infinite. I'm saying match 0 or 1, something with 1 in front, and that's it. All right, that's why it went infinite. So we get a red flag. All right, and that's okay because we're going to add something after this now. All right, so we only want to match 0 or 1 of those. The next thing that we might have, all right, is we might have these 3 numbers and then parentheses. All right, it might have these 3 numbers with parentheses in them. So how do we say 3 digits surrounded by parentheses? So we need to have 3 numbers, and they might or might not have parentheses. All right. Let's see. Do we have parentheses and a? All right. We either have parentheses and a white space, but we want to return false on something that would have parentheses and a dash. We don't have to worry about a parentheses and a dash. Okay. That's good. That makes our life a little easier. So let's go in here and we'll say we might have an opening parenthesis, right? Followed by, we need 3 digits. All right, so how do we say 3 digits? All right, so let's just say we have an opening parenthesis and then a closing parenthesis. So that here's our, all right, parenthesis, parenthesis. I'm going to put a space in there so you can see that. So there's a parenthesis, space, parenthesis, and we're going to put something in here. So I know this is going to start looking a little confusing. So that's why this website's good. You can kind of see there's a capture group, there's opening and closed. Inside of here, inside this opening and closed, we can do something like this. Bracket 3. Right, bracket. Delete. All right, so now we have match 3 of the preceding tokens. All right, and D is any character code between 1 and 100. All right, so that's match 3 characters essentially. So we're going to have something with 3 characters in it. That's all that's really saying. Or, all right, we might have something else. So here we go. We might have that. All right, there's your pipe for or. We might have a digit. All right. So here we go. We take a look at this. We might just have digits. All right, that's at slash D. Hey, slash D, 3 digits. 0 through 9, 0 through 9. All right. So you might have a 0 through 9 without, all right, those parentheses in them. So again, match 3. Again, we don't want the 0 to 100. We wanted the 0 to 9 here. I'm looking at my notes. That's why when you have 0 slash 0 slash 0 slash, there we go. We want digits. So we want 3 digits, whether those 3 digits are inside of parentheses or not. So there we go. We're doing pretty well here. All right, we're gathering everything that we need. All right, so what comes next after we have all of that? Okay, so that is one whole capture group. So now there's a capture group there for that. Now we don't need to put a question mark after that because we need to have these 3 digits. This is 1 and possibly a white space. We don't necessarily need 1 and possibly a white space. Okay, this is going to be preceded by, these are the main tests we have to get correct. So if we added in more of these, as you can kind of look at the other variables here, we can make this more and more complex, but I'm just going to go based off of these. What could be next? Well, I could have a white space, or I could have a dash, or I could have nothing next. All right, so how do I say that? All right, how do I say that? So let's take a look at this. So let's go here. All right, so here is a character set. All right, so what character set am I looking for? All right, all line space, a space, or a dash. All right, so this could be followed by a space or a dash or nothing. So followed by a space or a dash or nothing. Okay, so I'm just looking at a character set. All right, oops, I put it inside of this character. I want that inside of it, this capture group here. All right, I don't need a separate capture group for that. I'm just going to say it's going to be preceded by this. Okay, let's take a look what's next. Now that, again, is optional. Okay, good. What's going to come next? Well, we're going to need another three digits, right? So how did we say 3 digits before? All right, so now we had these entire capture groups here. We needed a separate capture group here because we had an OR statement, right? And we needed a separate capture group here because this entire capture group, one and possibly a space or not, was also a possibility. So since these were optional things, this one had an OR statement and that entire thing was optional, we had to put them in a separate capture group. Now, after this point, we know we're going to have either possibly a space or a dash or nothing, right? And so the next of this is just going to be our 3 digits, a dash, a space, and not a dash, and then 4 digits. So this is a little easier. So here we go. There's our 0 to 9. We need 3 of those. We have to make sure we have 3 of those, right? After we have 3 of those, we need to do a space or a dash, possibly, maybe not again, right? So we need this whole thing again. So we've already figured that out. So I'm going to need space, dash, right? So we're going to be looking for any space or any dash, all right, in this character set, 0 or 1 of either a space or a dash, all right? That's what that's saying, either 0, 1 of a space or a dash, followed by 4 digits. Whew. And we did this before, digits, and this time we need 4 of them. All right. Now, let's see if I made any typos. I think this is right. And again, like you can tell, I'm glancing at my notes because it's going to be hard to do this off the cuff without looking at notes. But I think that's right based on my notes here. And I'm going to paste this in right here. Control V. Giant regular expression. You can see you can just put this regular expression and then .test str and return that, and you'd be fine. But like I said, it's a little easier to break this out so you can come back and read it later on and make sense of what you've done. So here we go. Let's run this test. All right. True, 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 true. Okay, so we're getting a false in here that we need to figure out. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So something's up with if we have a false here. Have a global. I have the ignore. Am I missing? I am missing something here, and I'm trying to find the symbol that I forgot. All right. I need to say end of string. Okay. So here is the anchor. I did the anchor for the start of the string. I forgot my anchor for the end of the string. Okay, that's what's going on here. I need exactly that for the end of the string. So let's see, 7 matches, which is a $sign. So let's make sure that we say this is the exact end of the string. Let's try that. Is that all I missed? Whew, Boom shakalaka. There you go. And we're done. As you can see, regular expressions can seem quite overwhelming at times, but it does make sense, and you can have guides here which will walk you through and show you how to use this. It's a great tool. There's probably a better way. If your regular expression gets longer than this, there's got to be a better way to do it. But with these telephone numbers, it seemed to be a good way. If you do find a easier way than regular expressions, I'd love to see that. Um, I'd love to show that to my students as well. But otherwise, hopefully this was helpful for you, and I will see you all next time.